Hello, this is Cody Weinmann coming to you on the CJW Media channel, all about writing books, writing scripts, writing music, creating courses, and all that. Today I come to you with this rather, uh, rather insightful chapter on ghostwriting and why it's the cheater's way out. Caution to ghostwriters. Ghostwriting, yes, the art of dealing with ideas and ways of writing and writing for another person who may not have the time to write his or her own magnum opus. It may shed a bit of light on my experience in this heady field. I have been a ghostwriter for 2 clients for about 8.5 months, hired through a company called Odesk. I would get a topic sent to me within a day after finishing one product. I would have to immediately begin researching another quite unfamiliar topic, at least to me, and try to have the book fleshed out in 2 weeks. Try 2.5 months. 2 months later, I would finally email the person back saying the work for the ebook is now finished and that I'm ready to move on. Now, you can call me disorganized, you can call me irresponsible, but the fact of the matter is, spending 100 or so hours more researching something that I wasn't familiar with at all. Also, add to it that after the work was done, the employer would come up with a whole list of mistakes that I had made and last-minute formatting issues that took days to solve. Finally, after 8 months of doing that, I gave the employer the boot, saying I didn't think that dragging out another book project for longer than the required time would do the trick. I was fed up with giving the employer false promises, so recently, as in yesterday, I canceled the contract with the individual. A lot of times in the last few years, I've ghostwritten books for people, and the experiences have not been good at all. They have been horrendous with last minute corrections, little tiny spaces that are not in there that need to be in there. So many things that are just nitpicky would be upon me. And so that's why I ended up canceling at least a couple of contracts over the years with people who were trying to act as just publishers and they didn't write their own books. One of the things you might have to understand with ghostwriting is that the writing isn't about you. The main author has the final say on what goes on within the project. I have witnessed that when I have submitted projects to clients. The end result is that they may not be happy with maybes or probably, especially when it involves sales or other impersonal communication. The authors that I work with even wanted proven methods for the subjects which they were asking me to write. There was no maybe it will work. However, I must compare and counter this statement with an example. I was writing about tips that one should use when training dogs. Not every training strategy works with this type of dog. Every dog, as well as every person, responds differently to different things. There is no right or wrong answer with some things, depending on what it is. So stop preaching the one-size-fits-all approach. I get so sick and tired of people saying, oh, it's got to be vanilla, it's got to be milquetoast, it's got to be middle of the road. What happens if a ghostwriter doesn't know too much about a particular topic, even after significant research? Still a better question, what if the particular ghostwriter has never put these things into significant practice? Yeah, that's right, I said significant practice. Yes, they may have a little experience in whatever they were asking them to write about, but they may not know all of the ins and outs of the subject matter. This would require more time to flesh out. Such a request would not fly with most of the authors that a client would work for. So there you have another layer to this ghostwriting puzzle and why I think ghostwriting your own books or ghostwriting other people's books is a sham. Ghostwriting is a very time-consuming process. Most of the time spent ghostwriting requires a lot of research In my experience, the first 30 hours of work are strictly research and jotting down notes. Then there is a period of about 12 hours or so a day writing and editing the book. Is this enough for the editors and publishers of freelance engines? Maybe one time. Most of the time, no. You can't please everybody. Some contractors that you work for just won't be happy with anything you do and will make you change your word choice a dozen times before being happy with the final product that you took the time to craft. I'm not saying that I don't totally agree with the importance of researching a topic to get some very important details so you don't end up putting false, misleading, or totally wrong information into the book. I'm saying that both research and experience, key there, are involved when you set out to write content for books, especially if you're a ghostwriter. All of these people want is profit. They're in the business for a quick buck and don't care if the information that they receive in ebooks is accurate or all sustaining, meaning all terminology that is needed to clearly explain the material covered in the books is there. All of this said, the heat of the troubled economy, many people are turning to ghostwriting. Popular freelance sites like Odesk and Elance, now Upwork, are gaining rapid popularity within the work world, as many of the conventional jobs they used to have are out of place. This ebook, or the book that this is from, has been designed to help you in your efforts with some money-making work in ghostwriting material for someone else for hire. There are many hoops to go through when sifting through various contractors that post their bids on various sites. There are also several books in the rules for writing that many contractors who hire people or don't give when a contract starts. These actions conjure up various signs that are flags to watch out for when browsing employers. Employees must be able to research information via the internet and other resources. There will be work that with an employees. It should be work that the employees know a bit about, but always would be in need of knowing more to write ebooks and articles on a particular topic. The research portion of any ghostwriting project takes hours. Note, when you contract somebody to ghostwrite a book, it will take them hours if they don't already have experience in the book. Now, granted, recently I've finished, a ghostwriting book for a client, or a ghostwritten book for a client, and he actually asked me what subjects I have more experience in so that he can work together with me. That's a gem. You ought to keep them with you. So, the research requires hours. It requires knowing a lot. And it takes perhaps days to study to ensure that knowledge of a topic is accurate to the one that is in question. Ghostwriting is just as important as a job as any other big project. It requires a lot of effort and some expertise on the employee's part to make the employee and the employer happy both. Our work society is undergoing rapid changes. Most of the work used to be in factories, offices, and other brick-and-mortar facilities is now online at the helm of Odesk, Elance, and other following companies. These companies, with the increased presence of the internet, are contracting employers across the globe to ghostwrite for them. The new world of work is more than half the time online as opposed to a brick-and-mortar business. More employers are also requiring extra skills in writing and online computer platforms. This is where ghostwriting comes into play. Ghostwriting often provides fast cash when you are in between projects of your own. When working on a commission-based project or salary, things could get complicated, and employees may need extra commissions to balance out their checkbooks. This is perfectly reasonable. It is very important that employees are paid for the work that they ghostwrite, as to not waste their time and effort. This is why I created this to make sure freelancers and ghostwriters get what they earn from projects they undertake. So I go into a few points about what you should do. Point 1. All employers go about employers with extensive instructions. If you go into any of these ghostwriting employers and you see a one-sentence job description that is a red flag in your mind, you will most likely not get along with this particular employer. Go for employers that disclose everything or almost everything that they are wanting in the job right at the job posting. They need to give an accurate description of what the finished product should be. If they cannot provide that, then do not apply for them. Okay? You need to be upfront with this when you're a ghostwriter or a freelance writer. You need to be upfront with employers. If the employer is picky and always taking advantage of you, don't stay with them. Vacate immediately. For example, I've had clients who I did work for, and they just wanted just the way they wanted, and 4, 5, 6 times they were overly picky with one little feature. The bullets were off slightly. And it's not a quick spick and span. Finally, after a month of this, I finally let them go. Also, if after all the work you've done, you give the preliminary product to the ghostwriting service and you don't get any response from them as to what they should expect in return for your work, or what you should expect in return for your work, withdraw from the client. I've actually had an employer try to file a dispute with me on Upwork after I gave them a finished book. So I'm telling you, these employers are ruthless sometimes. Point 2, have a mini portfolio already ready. This is very important. You need to have a portfolio of work that is relevant or more than relevant to the job description. For example, if you're applying for a job ghostwriting a music transcription book, I have done one of these. You must have the credentials in that area, i.e., 2 or 3 books on the subject of music transcription or any other subject you think of. These samples also must have detailed examples of these projects that could be for your own authorship or in your portfolio of work you have done with or for others. Make sure that they're your best projects. Don't give them something that is just thrown together really quick. I have done both, the former and latter, and got mixed results as a result. Most being a declined status for the job. Skimp on the details, don't expect a job. I know it's unfair, but it's the truth. Have a portfolio that varies slightly if the job calls for different things. I have been asked to write and produce a song or set of songs in one gig before. I had to provide examples of my written composition work and my work in audio production. This technique makes me more suitable for the job. Point number 3, negotiate a fair bid. You don't want to go broke. A lot of employers want to get their jobs outsourced for not a lot of money. Since they are on a tight budget themselves, don't bid too high, making it impossible for the employer to pay you for the work you do. If you do, you have got to promise great work. Although generally I ask the client to pay me half their budget or for the product. We all need money. Do what you can for a reasonable price, but don't make your employer broke in the process, and don't make yourself broke in the process either. Point 4. Choose topics you know about. This may seem strange to you, but often when you pick a job, you pick whatever is going to make the most money. Well, the job market, especially nowadays, is becoming much more specialized. If you have a hodgepodge of jobs scattered all over the place, people won't hire you. I know, call it dumb, but it's the truth. They choose experience over hodgepodge knowledge. I choose to do only music-related jobs since that is my specialty. I write music and about it for a living. So when a client approaches me to ghostwrite a book, it has to be music as the subject, or as at least one of the topics in their job description. Point 5. The last point is, after you have done a reasonable amount of research or work as a freelancer, you could write your own, and to make your own money. Do it.